Do you still remember the feeling from that Sunday when you got that word from that lady?
Absolutely. I live that. I hold on to that all the time. Because it was more to it than that. I mean, she was talking about, your business will be able to give more into kingdom work than you ever
Mm.
imagined. This is going to be big, and it's proven to be true. And I don't even feel like we're close to the end of that. I feel like we're just honestly getting into it.
Welcome to another episode of Fund Flip Repeat. I am your private hard money lender, Joel Cadlick, and today with me is a special guest, Cole Phillips. Cole is a husband, a father, a real estate investor, a pastor in Oklahoma City, and he's doing some really big things right now and doing flips. So really happy to have him on. Cole, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Man, thank you, Joel. It's been really cool to get to know you over the last year or so. And we're having fun out here in Oklahoma City, flipping some houses and loving Jesus.
Awesome, man. Well, I love it.
Yeah,
Well, that's a good segue into my first question because on this
yeah.
podcast, we just hop right into it, man. So
Okay.
can you share the story of how you went from being a pastor, flipping house to flipping houses in Oklahoma City, and what was the moment that sparked that transition for you?
Absolutely, man. And I'm gonna keep this one short because it can be a long story. 2018, my wife are full-time pastors, and when I say that, vocational, we're getting paid at a church. I have been doing that since 2006. It was really the
Okay.
passion of our life. But we had two kids, our two kids at the time, and we have a house out in Piedmont, Oklahoma. Living on a pastor salary, not a senior pastor salary, but a staff pastor. And I had always been a guy that had side hustles. So I'd flip cars, I'd do brake jobs, I'd go hang to my ceiling fan just to make ends meet.
Mm.
But weird,
So
in
it's in your blood.
2018, yeah, it's just like that nature of entrepreneurship
Hmm.
was always there. In 2018, we had hit a place towards the end of the year that was probably the worst financial place I had ever been. And when you're wired as an entrepreneur, having financial lack really can sometimes be a massive stressor. And I'm just thinking, I got kids, I got a mortgage, I got to pay the bills, I got to feed my family. We got to the
Mm.
point that in October of 2018, we made a house payment and we had $100 left to our name until the next paycheck. And I'm thinking
Okay.
a flat tire it could break the bank, right? I mean, that's just
Sure.
hardly anything. And I went to a season. My wife and I were going to a pastor's retreat, and on the way we pulled out her computer while we were driving and we redid our budget. We cut everything from internet to just any kind of secondary spending, bare minimum.
Sure.
But I
Yeah.
also was asking God, how do I go to how do I go to my next? I know this is not the path for me. And I remember him really speaking to me very gently. You've always been someone with a side hustle, but I have a desire for you to do a business and then teach people how to do business. So I said, okay, so
Mm.
what does that mean? We had gotten quotes on our house to get painted about 6 months prior to that when I still had a little bit of money. And the painting quotes came back, and I'm like, oh my goodness, somebody's making money in this deal because I was just doing the math. And so I
Got it.
said, well,
Okay.
I mean, I'm handy. I know how to paint a house, so maybe I can paint a house. So the classic entrepreneur move, I got on
Yep.
Google Images. I downloaded the picture of somebody painting a house. I posted it in Facebook Marketplace and said, I have openings in my paint schedule next
Oh
week.
man.
Hit me up for a quote.
Ring the bell there. It's awesome.
I got a guy emailed me, and I went to Edmond, Oklahoma, and quoted his house. I knew what people were pricing, and I said, I'm going to come in under everyone because I want this job, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I quoted it, said yes. Next thing you know, I'm painting this guy's house, making a little bit extra money. And it began our journey into what became
Love it.
being general contractors on the side. So I'm going to jump ahead 21. I'm still full-time vocational at the church, working 9 to 5. Now I have 3 employees, and we're doing kitchen and bathroom models. We're doing all these things. We're in a
Okay.
church
So you're
service.
holding both of them now. Gotcha.
Yeah, both of them. And we're going like, I'm making payroll on Friday, setting the church up on Saturday, going to church on Sunday, working in the office through the week.
Wow. Okay.
We get to a Friday night worship night on the first or third Friday night in January. So it was the first one we did that year. And I gave an offering at the end. It wasn't like one of those prosperity gospel offerings. It was just literally God told me a number to give, and I gave it. Nobody had to ask me to. I felt it. Right
Okay.
afterward, the late
Wow. Mm.
I haven't, but I probably have the skill set for it. So what does that look like? He said, well, I got a deal down in Del City. Let's go look at it. I went and looked at it. Joel, I had no clue how to fund a house. And this is where people like you taught me so much. So I called a guy in New York City. The house was going to cost me 75 grand. I need 75 grand. Well, he said, well, on your bank statements, I can give you 50. But I got a guy in Phoenix to give you the other 25. I get on the phone with the guy in Phoenix. He's going to give me the 25. But he had a daily payback, 5 days a week of $258 a day. Every day, 5 days a week, $250,
Wow. Okay.
$58 in my account. I
Yeah.
told Eva, this is going to be the most expensive money we ever borrow, but I have to do it because I got to get this first deal under our belt. I didn't know you could borrow the rehab money at the time. So
Okay.
we had to
Interesting.
keep
Yeah.
the GC jobs going to fund the rehab. That house took about 3 or 4 months, and we got it flipped, made some money,
Good. Three,
did
4
another
months
one.
for first flip. That's fantastic.
I mean, you know why? I'll tell you why. Is because every morning I woke up $258 out of my account, and that drove some hardcore working for me. But we got our first flip done, got our second one, and just started building relationships. And before you know
Yeah.
it, 2022 we did I think 5 or 6, and 25 this is all we do full time.
Do you still remember the feeling from that Sunday when you got that word from that lady?
Absolutely, I live that. I hold on to that all the time. Because it was more to it than that. I mean, she was talking about, your business will be able to give more into kingdom work than you ever imagined. This is going to be big, and it's proven to be true. And I don't even feel like we're close to the end of that. I feel like we're just honestly getting into it.
Oh, brother, yeah, I feel like you're
Yeah,
just getting started. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And it's
yeah,
going to be fun to watch.
yeah, for sure.
So, okay, so Oklahoma City. So, what makes Oklahoma City a unique market for real estate investing and flipping compared to like other cities?
So I've never lived in other cities and flipped, but from what I can tell, we're part of some national networks. Is that Oklahoma City has this unique pocket of relationships that we sort of give each other deals. We help fund each other's deals. We share contractors, and there's a group of people here, 40 or 50. I mean, maybe more than that. I don't have a number for it, that seem to do things in a way that's integrous. We have relationships with one another. We all have similar values, and those values be I want family. This is what wealth looks like to us. Wealth looks like eating dinner with your kids at night, taking your kids to school in the morning, going on date nights with your wife, having just a life that I can spend with my friends and family, doing work in ministry. And it feels like that group of people in Oklahoma City does that and shares those values. One of my closest friends was over last night, he and his wife, with their kids, and we're hitting golf balls in the front yard and shooting basketball out on the court. And I bought a deal from him last week, and he's buying one for me next. And so it's just really cool to say we get to do business every day with friends that share values.
I love that, man. That's really well said. I've seen that in Oklahoma City. I've absolutely seen it. I've witnessed it. I've been able to participate and experience that as well. And that's just the right way of doing business. I love what you said about how you define wealth as well. So I define wealth as, more and better options. On a company level, it's more and better options for ourselves, our customers, and our investors. And that's exactly that. It's not tied to, money. It's tied to, hey, I can go on a date night, or we can go for a walk, or we can go to, a movie with the kids and stuff like that. It ties back to like time and relationship, which is ultimately, wealth defining for us. So I love that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Can you share a memorable success story from one of your flips, and, what made it stand out?
Of course, yes. This one actually would have been one I lost money on, but it actually taught me a valuable lesson. So we had a house downtown Oklahoma City.
Love it. Off to a good start already.
We had a house downtown Oklahoma City, not built in 1914. We thought, hey, we can conquer the world. We can redo this house. I think this was like our 5th or 6th house. Not realizing nearly the amount of problems we're going to run into on an over 100-year house out here in Oklahoma. So we get into the house and we just think we're going to go for it. This thing's going to be worth $450,000 when we're done. We're going to put $100,000 into it. We bought it for $200,000. We got spread for days. Well, we bought it in January 2022, and then May happened. So that wasn't working in our favor. That's when interest rates hiked, and it's like the market went like completely crazy the wrong direction for us. But we're into the house, right? But then we found foundation issues. We found that there was a chimney running through the center of the house that had been hidden by the sheetrock. Well, the house settled, the chimney didn't. So literally the house settles around the chimney. So we have to go in there and get steel beams put in, run new floor wrappers on the second floor. It was just always something. Mm-hmm. But we came to listing it. Took about 1.5 years to get it sold, and it was just painful. It was brutally painful. And we were losing money. I'm talking hard money, we lost money, not profit. We lost money, but it was the coolest thing. We finally got it under contract. I was happy with the contract because at closing I would actually get money rather than take money. So even though it was a loss, it was still that day. It didn't feel as painful because it had already been lost. But the week before we close on it, my realtor gets a text from the buyers and said, hey, we're about to get married too. So can we just get married in the house? I know we're not closing until next week. but can we go ahead and get married in
Okay.
the house? And,
That's
it was
interesting.
like, okay, that's cool. Let's do that. I had roses sent over. We paid for the photographer. They didn't know that was going to happen. And we just like, we got a good story from this. These people are going to spend their life, at least a season of their life here, the beginning of their marriage. Good, strong faith couple.
Okay,
So
cool.
we had a good feel good moment. But then it was funny. Like a year later, I'm speaking for a realtor group in Northwest OKC, and I'm telling that, and it was like,
Oh, no
oh,
way.
that is so stinking cool. So I got to like take a
Wow.
picture with them that day. I mean, how like ridiculously ironic is that they're actually
Yeah,
realtors
no,
sitting in the
no
room.
doubt. That's
And
crazy.
good thing I didn't say anything about the bad about the house because we did a good job on it. So I'm like, crap, I hope I didn't say anything bad, but we
Yeah,
didn't. So
you
yeah, so it
never
was cool.
know. Wow, that's
So
wild. That's really
yeah,
cool. That's really
yeah.
cool. So, how do you integrate your faith and pastoral values into your real estate business?
Oh man, I think I mean I would get a little bit of philosophical for how me and Eva do it, but we feel like
Sure.
our faith is first and foremost. So how do I integrate my business into my faith is really how we go about it. Um,
Yeah.
we live kingdom first, and I'm not trying to say that from a prideful position. I'm saying that in this space, and this, Joel, and most people who listen to your podcast may know this, but you have a lot of room for compromise in this space when it
Mhm.
comes to integrity, when it comes to doing things right, even cutting corners that should that are life safety issues in say a house that I don't want to cut corner or lying to an investor or padding numbers on one side or taking shortcuts on TRRs. There's just so many ways to live with cutting corners and in an integrous way. And I just think that's not the Jesus model. And then I think some of the stuff that we were experiencing in OKC that we talked about earlier about doing business with partners, Jesus didn't design us to be independent. He
Mm,
designed us to be in partnership. That's how the whole kingdom of God operates
right.
relationally.
Right.
My former pastor, who passed away in 2021, used to say the kingdom of God is administered relationally. And the reality is like if we're going to live kingdom, then we have to live relational. And so for us, doing the right thing, living inside a relationship, doing the Jesus model of taking the high road, turning the other cheek, there's times that people that, you get the short end of the stick on a deal, even if it's with partnerships. And what are you going to do about that? So for us, we sort of try to have a conscious effort of integrating our business into our faith and saying, we're going to do this business the way God said. And I remember early on, especially before flipping, when I was a GC, one of the
Right.
values of our company was, well, I want to preserve weekends for my kids, and that means Saturday, Sunday. And
Sure.
in the general contractor construction world, bro, that ain't common because you got to work Saturdays, and some of your people
Right.
work Sundays. And for me, I
Yep.
said, well, I can't let it leak into that because then it's not building what I want and what I feel is a faith value for our life. It's actually going contrary to that. And we lost jobs. I mean, there was jobs I didn't get because I couldn't go quote a job on Saturday at 11. And even to this day, you're not going to catch me out walking a house on Saturday afternoon at 3. I might not get the deal. Another wholesaler might, another flipper might. But to me, it's not worth my kid saying to me, Dad, I just thought we were spending time today. I mean, my daughter, she said to me a few months ago, when I pick my kids up from school every day. Most of the time, I'm not going to say that. Most of the time, I'm the one that picks them up because my
Okay.
wife's more of an afternoon worker. I'm a morning person, so I get the afternoons. And
Gotcha.
and a lot of times she'd get in the car and I'd be on the phone. And it was always a business call. And one day she
Right.
finally said to me, she got in the car, she said, Dad, I wish when you picked us up that you weren't on the phone because I want to talk to you about my day when I get in the truck. And you know
Mm,
what? I was like, Joby, I can do that for you. So I promise you, every day when I pick her up, it's 3:30, 3:35. I'm in the line. I'm like, hey, I got to go, about to pick my kids up. And I'll cut the call. So when they get in the car, I'm saying, hey, how was y'all's day? And
mm.
so yeah, so those,
I love
those are some
that,
ways
man.
we try.
That's actually something that yeah, I'm gonna take that advice, right? Because I'm always on the phone. I've got my little, it's called shocks, right? So I got my headset thing on, and I'm always on the call, like 24/7. I'm usually pretty good. I pick up my kids a lot as well. But yeah, if I'm on a call, I'm on a call. But yeah, I'm gonna remember that. I think it's so important, just because the busyness, can just, it creeps up on you, and life is so short. So I really like that. And the same thing with the weekends. I model that as well. Like Saturdays and Sundays are for the family and for church. It's not always easy though either. But it has to be like a hard and fast rule to some extent. Now there might be some things here and there with travel, but yeah, no, I really like that, man. I appreciate that perspective. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's definitely contrary to what we see a lot too. It's like 100 hours a week, go crush it, whatever it takes. live, breathe, and die the business, and the quality of life is just not there, and you're missing some really important things. So it's okay that that's good for a season as well. I usually like to say, like, hustle is a season, not a lifestyle. So if that's a season you're in, maybe that's okay, but you need to get into that lifestyle. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, and some folks have families and not have families.
I
So
love
for
that.
someone new to real estate, flipping, specifically in Oklahoma City, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to avoid, costly mistakes, or, just to help them out? Like, what's a piece of advice that you would give them?
I think network, network, network. We're giving.
Mm,
If you're in Oklahoma City, we're a giving culture within the groups that we run in. We feel like there's enough houses. There's too many houses here for all of us to flip, anyways. So if we can work together, I think I I did opposite of my values my first probably 5 or 6 flips, which was I isolated myself because I did see a minute ago you referenced it, the hustle
mhm.
culture in
Yeah.
the social media world I was looking at. I didn't realize there was this underworld of good, godly men and women who were doing it in a new way. And when I found that group, I was like, man, you are my people, right? And so my
Mm,
encouragement in Oklahoma City is get into the right network that there's values with you, and then people help. From contractors to funding, just recommended you last week to a guy, just people that share values, funding to even getting deal flow. And listen, I have people all the time that are new and they can't get that first deal because they're not taking advice on the running their numbers, and just learning to say, hey, I'm going to have trust this person telling me this is a good deal, and they're going to help guide my process. So to me, networking, finding the right relationships is 100% the key piece.
okay. And we'll list, for anyone listening or watching, we're gonna list some of the meetup groups in the show notes as well. So that's places where you can go find Cole. Maybe he's even speaking. It would be a great time to go say hi to him and shake his hand. Are you doing anything in the way of, like, mentoring or coaching or anything like that? Or
Yeah, we do on a case by case basis. People that share values, we will do
okay,
some coaching. In fact, I bought a house this morning with, and I say I bought it, they bought it with that's a coaching client of mine, a kids director at our church that wanted to get into the
okay,
space and have a little bit of cash. We were able to help him get his first house, and we'll go look at it at 12:30 today. So yeah, we do some of that on a case by
nice.
case basis. We want to make sure that for me, I want to make sure that I've given proper attention to it. So we just really like to say, hey, are we sharing values? Are we sharing hearts here? And then if they are, hey, let's turn and burn some.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
So flipping, man, you're doing a lot of flipping. I mean, you do other stuff too. I know you've got some creative finance deals. You've done some wholesaling, direct to seller things. But as far as the flips go, like, what's the goal there? Like, how many flips are you guys doing? Like, give us an idea of what that looks like.
Yeah. So our goal this year is to have 9 in the pipeline at all times. And what I mean by that is 3 on market, 3 under
Mm,
construction, and 3 in the pipeline to purchase. That would be fix and flips. Those are dispo. We're going to get rid of these houses, and then
okay.
for us, anywhere from 3 to 6 wholesale a month this year. I think that goal is going to grow. Even some of coaching we get from you guys is going to probably help us there, but we feel like our capacity, we got heavy last year and had probably too many going. And I started having to do things that compromised my family time and even my own personal peace and stress level. So we
What's
were
too
able to get out
many?
of that season. For us, it's everybody has a capacity. There's people that flip 100 houses a year and they don't have an ounce of stress. I think God gives everybody
Right.
grace based on their gift mix and their lifestyle. So
Right.
God's grace on our life, I feel, is that 9 at a time. I think we had 5 to 6 under construction with at all times 3 to 6 on the market last year, and I kept having to buy more to keep that moving, and it was just burning the candle at both ends. So we paused buying for a couple months at
Nine
the
at
end
a
of last
time is a
year.
lot, man. That's,
Yeah,
yeah. I would
yeah,
I would fail as far as
yeah,
I would fail. 9 at a time is a lot, so that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sort of our grace, we believe.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, man. We'll go ahead and let you go. But if
Yeah,
anyone wants to reach out or find you, or just have any questions, I know you're a huge go giver. Where can they find you? And yeah,
yeah, Facebook and Instagram a little bit, and
awesome. We'll go ahead and put that on the show notes as well, guys, where you can connect with Cole. Cole, thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch you guys all next time.